series. You're watching Your World.
They have not come up with a single solitary new idea to address the challenges of the American people. They don't have a single idea that's different from George Bush's ideas. Not one.
George Bush, evil genius. Poll numbers sliding, so get bashing. The president of the United States blaming the old president of the United States. That, of course, is nothing really new Fox alerting going on here. But the Democrats' main midterm strategy appears to be just that.
There's never enough until we restore the 8 million jobs lost in the Bush recession.
We're not going back to the failed policies of the Bush administration.
Let's just remember how we got into this fix.
And don't forget that Bush was also Lucifer. Anyway, Dana Perino, work for President Bush, says that these Democrats are just getting started. You know, I mock this in some humor here, Dana, but this is getting old. You know, it's just getting old.
Well, it's getting old, and the thing is, it's not working for them. If you look at all of the polls across the board, that kind of rhetoric works well with their base, and maybe they're more worried about their base than they let on. What they have lost is faith from independents and those independent voters that helped Barack Obama win the election. 18 months on, I don't think there's a lot of people out there worried about what President Bush would do right now. And in fact, it's interesting to hear President Obama talk about how the GOP doesn't have any new ideas. I actually think that 18 months later, trying to get credit for their stimulus that didn't work, at least 6% of the American people don't think it really helped create any jobs. Now they're worried about what is this administration going to do that is new, that will help us for the long term. Instead of, you know, patching up the economy with chicken wire and duct tape, what are the new policies that they'll do? And they're not articulating those. You know,
Dana, I have no problem with blaming others for my mistakes. I've built a career on it. But I'm telling you, this does get old, doesn't it? I mean, my contacts at this White House, the gardener and the chief cook and all that, they're all telling me that they've done their own tracking polls that show as much as people might have problems with this president's policies, when asked, well, would you prefer to go back to the prior presidents, they overwhelmingly say no. So they see that as their wedge.
Can you imagine?
What do you make of it?
What a sad thing. After 18 months, that's the choice people think that they have? Like, well, we're bad, but we're not as bad as the other guy? I mean, that's really what you're going to run on after 18 months?
Well,
I mean,
wait a minute. No, we haven't
healthcare.
even included the Millard Fillmore attacks that are being slated. But, you know, we joke about it here, but there is a bigger point, is there not? I mean, Republican or Democrat. It gets old blaming the other guy. I mean, you and I have gotten into this before. What is the statute of limitations on the prior administration?
Well, I thought that it ran out last year, and I think other people did too. I mean, now it's basically like a joke on Saturday Night Live that, of course, they're going to blame President Bush for everything from the weather to whatever else it might be. But both parties are susceptible to this problem of not being able to break through the attack to get to what they are for. And I think from a presidential level, it does sound a lot more presidential. If you can let that go and let your other people, let your troops do that. Let Vice President Biden and Speaker Pelosi, who obviously are using poll-tested phrasing. But again, I think, Neil, that we cannot forget that it's helping their base, and it's not helping them with independence, and it's not their base that they need to worry about.
Well, maybe it is. Maybe it is. But
well, that's right. Maybe they're more worried about it than we know.
Okay, Dana, thank you. Good seeing you as always.
Okay.